Alright, everybody, gonna do a bit of a showcase here. And what made me want to do it was I recently bought two cards from Eloy the GOAT. One of them is in the Knicks PC, so I'll show that at another point in time. But the other card I bought was this Danny Manning autograph. Really sweet auto from National Treasures, numbered to 99. And if you know anything about me, you know I love NBA players from this era. Doesn't have to be the mega stars or Hall of Famers, just any decent player from this era, and he certainly qualifies. I know he was a really good college player, then had a lot of knee issues throughout his NBA career, but still had a respectable career with the Clippers and Suns and maybe a few other teams I'm forgetting. So yeah, really happy to add that. So getting that made me want to show some other NBA autographs of similar players from that era. I know I've shown some of these before, but there's definitely plenty here that I haven't shown. This one I have shown, this Mookie Bladelock auto. Bought that from Ground Chuck a while back. Mookie was a solid point guard for a long time. This one I haven't shown, so I'm glad I get the chance to now. Really like that one. Stacy Ogman, aka the Plastic Man. Shout out to Jason Aaron Goldberg and Abel in Vegas, one of the running rebels there, numbered to 25. Also, shout out to Ricky Russo, one of his favorite products ever, Noir. I got an amazing deal on this, at least I think so. Got this for under $10, was really happy with that. I mean, I'll pay that all the time for a decent NBA player from a high-end product. This one I shown before too, this Dominique Wilkins auto. Bought that off of Ricky Russo. But yeah, they aren't all going to be Hawks. You're just seeing a lot of Hawks here because I had these in alphabetical order by city in my NBA box, so that's kind of how I kept them. So here's one more Hawk. Really like this one too, though. This Steve Smith, Smitty from the city. And yeah, again, just another really solid NBA player that played for a long time. Knocked down a bunch of jump shots for a bunch of teams. Here's a Dino Raja. So we're on to the Boston Celtics now. Really good European player. Wasn't terrible in the NBA, but was nowhere near as dominant in the NBA. Here you got the Nets. I had them under Brooklyn Nets. That's why they're next. There you got Kenny Anderson. It's another really good old school point guard there. Well known, like in the New York streets, as like the old school type of point guard. You got a guy that played in the 90's and well beyond, so I just threw him in here. Another Net. Still need a kid auto in a Knicks uniform, but love that. And yet again, that was another Russo purchase. It's numbered to 20. But yeah, that's how I know it was from Russo's eBay stuff when it had that sticker on it. Now we move on to some Charlotte Hornets. Got Eldon Campbell, who was also with the Lakers a few times. And again, he fits that same description of just a solid player. Was never like a superstar, but really good power forward / center. I think he might have played for a few other teams too. You got another Charlotte Hornet, Glenn Rice, big time scorer. And yet again, another Russo purchase. You know, Russo loved his NBA as well, so I got a lot of stuff from him. That was numbered to 99. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite players from that era, Glenn Rice. Got yet another Charlotte Hornet there. Also former New York Knick Anthony Mason. Got traded to Charlotte in the Larry Johnson deal. Had some good years with the Hornets too. Got a lot more playing time. Put up some numbers. And this one is in the Charlotte Hornets section, but it says Charlotte Hornets on the back, but I thought Jamal Mashburn was with the New Orleans Hornets only, but who knows. But either way, nice one there with the multicolor swatch and the auto, numbered to 199. But he was another guy that had a lot of expectations coming out of college, but just had an okay career. Not like spectacular, but played for a bunch of teams, played for a long time, put up some numbers. Here you got Lafayette, aka Fat Lever. And didn't see him play that much. Won't say here, but I think around the time I started watching the NBA was like when he was on his way out. but I definitely remember him for that nickname. And this was in the collection that I bought recently. Here you got one of the old Pistons bad boys, Rick Mahorn. I think I might have also got this one from Eloy. Or that might have been from one of the egg auctions, can't remember. But yeah, another cool one there. Another Piston from that era, Joe Dumars. Got this one really cheap too. Got that for like $10 on eBay. Thought that was a steal from Immaculate. Love those shadow box signatures. And speaking of, here's another one. Another shadow box signature for the Pistons, Grant Hill. Number to 49. And I did show this one before. This one doesn't have the Russo sticker because it wasn't from eBay. This was a card show purchase. But yeah, I love that. Grant Hill, definitely one of my all-time favorite players. Got this one from Scotty Aranya. Really cool Latrell Sprewell from his Warriors days. Still need a Sprewell in a Knicks uniform. I believe this was numbered. Yeah, it's numbered right there to 25. But that's sweet. I love that pose right there. That pose was on a lot of cards and posters back in the day when he was about to throw down. Bought this one from Sebastian Select. I know I've shown this one several times just because I like it so much. Hakeem the Dream. Number to 35. Really dominant center. Like, if he got the ball in the low post, you pretty much had no shot. And you got another one from Prism, Mark Jackson. Yeah, another guy. I have his auto with a different team, but need a Knicks auto of him. And he has a ton of them and a ton of really nice ones, and they're not even that expensive, but I just keep putting it off. But did get this Indiana Pacers auto, which yet again I think it was either from Eloy or from the egg auctions. But yeah, when he was in Indiana, they had those big time battles with the Knicks in the playoffs. And this one was kind of before my era. Yeah, this guy says played like 77 to 89, so don't really know who this guy is, but this was another one that was in the collection I bought recently, so thought that was kind of cool. Norm Nixon, just another old school NBA auto to add to the collection. Here you got the big dog Glenn Robinson, former number 1 pick. And again, you could say he didn't quite live up to the number 1 pick hype, but had a pretty good long career. Scored a ton of points. Fun player to watch for a long time. Really like this one here. This Nick Anderson from Spectra. Really solid shooting guard for a long time. Had those big seasons with Orlando with Shaq and Penny and Dennis Scott and all those guys. That was number to 60. Unfortunately, he's probably most remembered for those missed free throws in the finals, but I don't dwell on the negative. He had a really good career despite those free throw misses. Here you got a Jeff Hornacek, former Knicks coach with Phoenix there. I didn't watch him play with Phoenix much. Obviously well known for being on those great Utah teams. Here's another one that was in the collection I bought. There was a lot of cool NBA stuff in that collection, which is why I bought it. There's Buck Williams. Also played locally for the Knicks and Nets, so yet again need to get at least a Knicks auto of him. That was numbered to 49. Here's another Blazer, Arvida Sabonis. Got drafted like in the late 80s, but didn't come to the NBA till like the mid 90s. Put up a lot of good numbers playing in Europe. That one's numbered to 199. I think he played maybe like 4 or 5 years in the NBA and had some pretty good seasons. Would have been interesting to see what he could have done if he came here when he was younger. And yet another one that was in that collection I bought, Vlade Divac. I know Hard Art Cards is not a big fan of this guy because he says he invented the flop, which I think he pretty much did. Like, I remember when the Kings were facing the Lakers a lot in the playoffs and Shaq would post him up. That's when he would like act like he got hit by a truck or something and just flop. But still, I liked him. He was a solid player. Mainly liked him with the Hornets and Kings. I liked those Kings teams a lot back then. Felt like they should have won a championship. That was numbered to 149. And here's a guy pictured with the Kings. I don't really remember him playing with the Kings, Jim Jackson. But I think this guy played for like a dozen teams. I remember he was drafted in Dallas. He was part of the 3 J's with Jamal Mashburn and Jason Kidd. And talk about a long career. This guy played for like 15 to 20 years. Like I said, like 10 teams, dozen teams, something like that. Played with the Nets, played with the... I'm not even going to try to name all his teams, but yeah. Again, just a really solid player. And speaking of, here you got another one. Avery Johnson. Even though this guy killed the Knicks in the 99 finals with that game-winning jump shot in the final game, still have a ton of respect for this guy. Undersized guard and battled his way to the NBA, played in like the CBA, played overseas, and again, just worked his ass off, made it to the NBA, and lasted in the NBA for like a decade, and won that championship with the Spurs. And last one here, shown this one a few times, and I'll continue to show it. For the Washington Bullets, George Mirasan. Got that one from the egg auctions. And again, he wasn't a great player. He doesn't even fit the description as like a solid player, but definitely a memorable player and a really nice card. So we will end on that one. And so that is it. I have some other NBA autographs, but those were the ones I pulled out this time. So hope you all enjoyed. I'll talk to you guys next time.